I can barely hear you. This is terrible.
Uh-oh.
But it's
all right,
my
we're
phone
live.
that's not
Hey.
letting... Okay. I'll be okay.
Are you ready? Okay, good. Hey, everybody. This is Karen Richardson, Executive Director of the Virginia Society for Technology and Education. Doing one of my favorite things to do throughout the year, and that is visit classrooms across the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this morning we are at Goochland High School with Ms. B. Lederman and Ms. Stephanie Deloach, and they are going to be taking us around to talk to some of the students about what they're doing
Karen,
with their
we are not
projects.
live. I'm not getting anything.
We're not.
You have to go into the event thing and press the
live?
button
Hi.
to start the streaming.
So, as Karen
Okay, sorry,
as Karen
B,
said,
hold on. Because
Okay,
it's,
sorry.
mine says live. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Oh, I have to do it from here?
Go into your events live streaming thing and click the button that says Start Hangout on Air.
That's how I started what we're in.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope it's working then. I don't see anything. So.
Huh, but okay, well, because mine says it's live.
Now I see it. Okay.
Okay, sorry. All right, guys, let's try this. That's all right. Let's try this again. I'm Karen Richardson, the Executive Director of the Virginia Society for Technology and Education, and I'm doing one of my favorite things today, which is visiting classrooms in the Commonwealth. So we are at Goochland High School this morning. We're visiting with Ms. B. Lederman and Ms. Stephanie Deloach, and they're going to take us around to talk to their students about the projects that they're working on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to B. Good morning, B.
Hi. Hello. I'm B, and I am in a classroom at Goochland High School with students in Ms. Deloach's computer science class, and I'm going to let her do a little bit of an introduction, and then we will go talk to students.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Deloach, and this is my AP Computer Science course, and we are working with Arduinos today. Trying to light up an RGB LED, seeing what different lights are measured using photo transistors. So we're doing a lot of troubleshooting today because a lot of kids are, the wiring and all that is a little bit tough for them. And so it's an interesting project for them to do.
All right, so now we're going to show what the kids are doing, and they can tell us all about it. So I'm going to start. Let me turn the camera around, and here you can see the students are all working. They've got their little Arduino boards, and they're lighting up. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your project.
My name's Kobe Anderson. I'm in 10th grade, and so we're working with the Arduinos with the photoresistors to try to color them with these gels, which are they're a lot of times used in stages for coloring the lights. But what we're trying to do is color the photoresistors to make the lights shine a different color. And so, depending on which one we shine, it'll cover, or if we just cover two different separate lights, it'll change the color. Like if we cover the two sides, it turns like an orangish, but if we cover these two, it turns green. Then these two, it turns green too. So.
And show us how you did this on the computer. Show us what you did. Let me see if I can get. So I don't know if you can see the code. So in addition to doing the wiring, you're doing some coding?
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing coding with Arduino?
Well, I got an Arduino for Christmas last year, but I didn't really know how to do it, so it's kind of just been sitting in my house. But then I took this class, and we started using it a lot more, so I've started using it at my house.
So what kinds of things are you doing at home with it now?
Yeah, well, I have the same kit and the same books. They're pretty much the same programs that we're doing here, but it helps me better understand what we're doing with them. So
cool. All right, so let's move on to your friend behind you who's still fiddling with the wiring. So introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
My name's Kyle, and I actually. My name's Kyle, and I actually just got it working, I think. And I'm trying to make the light change colors, but I'm having more of a blue tint for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Oh, so yours is blue. Everybody else's seems to be a little bit more green. Let's see what this one is.
Yeah, mine wasn't working at all at first. It was completely blue. So then it wasn't reading from red or green at all. So I tried to switch them around to the opposite side so they were coming from negative instead of positive, and that didn't work. So I had to switch all of them. So now they're all flipped different ways, but they read the right colors.
So explain to me this whole switching from negative to positive that you just mentioned. For anybody who might be out there who doesn't know anything about an Arduino, tell us what that does.
It takes like the long leg. If you put it in different sides, it'll read from different. So this one, if you put it closer to this side, this wire is connected to the positive, so that'll change what it reads. If you put it the other way, it'll read.
Okay, I'm gonna get close so we can see what this looks like over here.
So here's the long leg. So if you put it in the positive, it'll be different than if you had put the long leg on this side that connects it to negative. So right now it's green because I don't have blue or red color.
Okay, so switch one so we can see the difference.
Well, I'm not sure what it's going to do because it wasn't really working at first at all. It's mostly blue right now. I'm going to try this one.
So once you write the code.
So now it's not reading red at all because I switched it. It just reads blue and green, which are these two.
So once you write the code, you can just tinker with it until you figure out how it works, and then you can actually make something out of it?
Yeah, it kind of seems like everyone's just reading different things.
So will you guys then have like a whole class discussion and figure out why things happen?
Yeah, we'll kind of interact and see which ones did what and how things work.
Cool. Over here we have red. Look, yours is shining really red.
Yeah. So fun thing about this one is I'm not getting any red readings at all, but I'm getting mostly red light out of this. So that's what I've been trying to go back through my code and see if I encoded anything wrong. To see if anything with how I'm reading it, it's telling me negative values instead of positive values. So 0 is the max of the red reading, instead of 0 is no red reading at all. So I'm just going back through my code and trying to make sure that I haven't inversed any reading sensors.
So you guys have done block coding, right? You've done Scratch. And is this the first time you're using something physical so that you're moving off the screen onto an object that you're actually manipulating?
This is the first physical thing I've coded before. I don't know about anyone else in this class, but this is the first time for me.
Cool. Do you guys have any questions, Tim and Karen?
Mostly as somebody who sounds very similar to you, student, I have an Arduino. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So they evidently are using a book to work through projects.
Yes. Let me show you the book. Can I borrow your book for just a sec? So this is the book that Mr. Loach has selected. It's the Arduino projects book. And how do you guys like the book? You guys have experience in coding more than I do, right? How do you like this book? Have you coded with a book before, or have you just?
I've used a book before. This one's okay. I've used better ones.
You've used better ones? Are you gonna give Mr. Loach some feedback so you can?
I don't know. It's kind of. It seems like there's extra stuff. Maybe that's just me. I don't like all the extra stuff that they have.
You don't like the extra stuff? What kind of extra stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of descriptions, which a lot of times I don't really care about.
You just want to get to the code, right?
Apparently so. All right, let me see what else we have over here. There's a table over here that's working as a team. They seem to be much more collaborative over here. So I'm just going to...
stealing each other's parts.
They're stealing each other's parts? They're just sharing. All right.
I feel like that's not good.
So yours is blinking. Is it because, you're manually making it blink?
It's turning red for you. I think you're going to put out my light there.
Oh, look, now it's bright green. Okay, what did you do to make it change colors?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, are you... They're figuring things out. They're tinkering and figuring things out as they go. Over here, I know that over here we did something interesting earlier before we started the broadcast. We were shining the light directly onto the light bulbs and covering some of them up. And it made the way the code was written, the light changes. See, now it's pink. Can you see the light? Now it's pink, and now I remove it. Now it's blue. So it depends on which ones you cover up. The tint of the light changes.
So B, they're just using the flashlight on their phones. Is that what they're doing with their phones?
Right. We're keeping the lights off in the room, so that's why the room is dark. We've got the lights turned off and the window shades closed as much as they will close, and so they can direct the light to the sensors with their phones. We have a pretty liberal phone policy here now, so the kids can use their phones as long as they're responsible. Most teachers will not yell at the kids to put their phones away unless there's some necessity to have the phones put away. So if you look around, most kids have their phones somewhere near. They keep up with their friends and do stuff, but they also use them. So they're using the flashlights to shine the light more directly onto the sensors, which is helping them get a better result than having a very diffuse light.
Right.
From see, he's got his phone too. Everybody's got their phone, and they just use the flashlight, so we get a better result with a brighter light.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good. Plus, I wondered too if they were taking pictures of their setups or anything like that as well for troubleshooting later on. Is anybody taking
pictures of your setups so you keep track of what you're doing as you're doing it? Apparently not. Are you taking pictures of yours? See, he can listen to music while he works. Nobody bothers him.
Great, good. I like to do that too. Well, this is terrific. I may be inspired to dig my Arduino out and play around a little bit with it as well. Tim Stalmer, any questions from you?
I'm kind of curious what any of these students want to do with their computer science down the line. Is there any kind of project they'd like to do, or any kind of coding that they'd like to learn?
Actually, I can answer that. The kids are now learning all the basics of all sorts of different tools, and their project is, which app is this? Is this class building an app?
Yeah.
This class is building an app for our CTE department. They put out a bid for teachers to submit a proposal for an app that they needed, and our CTE director, because the courses that students complete, there is no way of having a report that runs and says who has completed what and they can get their certification. He has to go by hand through all the transcripts after he prints them all out and do all the students at the high school by hand, which is a pain. And everybody has to do that at every school. So what the kids are going to do is build an app that will read the data and actually run a report on what certifications each student has earned, so that then there's a summary that guidance and everybody else can look at and say, okay, this is what this student has, without having to go through the transcript line by line and figure out what they've done. So they are going to build an app, and hopefully it'll be something that is good enough that doesn't have to be used just in Goochland by our CTE department, but can be shared with CTE departments in other counties. So I'm not exactly sure how the process goes, but I know that our director, who was right outside the door a minute ago watching, he has to go line by line through every transcript, and it takes days for him to get it done. So he proposed that, and then there's another group of computer science students in another section of this that will meet tomorrow after lunch. They are working to build an app that will let somebody who's a scorekeeper for a baseball or a softball team keep track of statistics for players and styles of play for every player, so that when you're watching, then you can share the data with the team. And that's going to be an iOS app. So there are some that do already some of that, but the students have spoken to an administrator here who actually travels with her daughter to games, and she wants a tool to help her keep statistics better. And so the kids will be making the app and hopefully submitting it to the App Store and actually having other people download it and use it.
That's great. Well, and if they run out of ideas, I teach a class at University of Richmond that includes grad students from all over the area, and they have to do a final project, and a lot of them said, we want to make an app. And I said, well, you probably can't make the app from this school, but go talk to your high school computer science classes. They may be looking for interesting projects to work on. So I'll push them out there, because they had some really good ones to things with special education and a couple different ideas, and they don't code in my class, but it'd be great to work with the students. So
yeah. So I'm gonna step outside so I can hear you. I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
So unless Tim has any other questions, this has been terrific. It's great to see the students working and learning all about troubleshooting and all that good stuff that comes along with computer coding. It looks like they're having fun. Tim, any last questions for B?
No, that's fine. The only thing I was thinking of when she was describing the apps is you need to have a little section on data security, probably. You know,
right.
Especially considering everything that's in the news these days.
I'm really having a hard time hearing you guys.
Okay, well, that's all right.
You can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you, B. Thank you very much for letting us pop in and say hello this morning. Thank the teacher, thank your students, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.